Alright, it's rolling whenever you're ready.
Alright.
I know good memories. They used to be good for. I know they good for. I good.
Okay, so I pulled this question actually out of the email, which is different from me because I switched it up a little bit. However, I accidentally deleted it. So I don't know who it's from, but I remember the question. This is what they asked.
Screen disrespectful. You should have screen disrespect.
I know, it wouldn't send to me. Anyways, and please, if this is your question, just let me know, like, DM me on Twitter or something like that.
DM you? Oh, okay.
I mean, not
They're like, okay, everybody gonna be like, that's my question.
And while we talking, I got another question.
Just go ahead and mention me on Twitter. Don't, just, mention me on Twitter. Okay,
You're not supposed to say DM.
No.
Oh, y'all are so annoying. Okay. So they asked, what do you think about Frank Ocean's album releasing style? He waited 4 years and then dropped a commercial/visual/streaming link and followed up with like a music album. Do you feel like that's an effective way to build up hype surrounding the music?
Do I think it's an effective release strategy? I don't think it was a release strategy that was intentional.
Really?
Until he was ready to put the album out. I don't think he intentionally waited 4 years to build up anticipation for his album, only to get to this point where he's gonna put out a visual album done before. And
yeah, because I think in his case, he could have, the way people was sitting around waiting for the album, he could have just released it, just boop.
yeah, because we got what he did 2 separate albums. That's what I've been trying to figure out.
I haven't heard anything.
else.
I haven't watched it.
Because there's Endless, which is the visual album.
And I saw something that said Blondie or something.
Blonde dropped
Blonde or something.
on iTunes over the weekend, which is, I think, the official album.
Did you watch Endless?
No. I mean, I think this thing is sort of followed the pattern that Kanye followed in the sense that it was real messy and jumbled, because there was the interview with New York Times. He was dropping hints and putting stuff on his website, and you know, of course, people that love Frank Ocean went fucking nuts on
And then he had
Twitter.
like a screenshot where it had like a whole bunch of like dates and stuff on there or whatever.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, so he was doing all of that. Then there was the article in New York Times where they said that it was coming out that Friday. It never dropped that Friday.
Well, then wouldn't
the
that
week
make
afterwards, we get Endless, and then a couple of days later, you get the album.
Wouldn't that make it intentional then?
I don't think that was intentional.
I just saw the big response on Twitter, like, "Oh, Frank Ocean's dropping on Friday." All right, well, it ain't Friday yet, so I'm not sweating.
Well, he's supposed to drop last Friday or something like that, right?
Yeah, it was
and
like
then he
a
did
weekend
too.
ago.
Yeah,
And he didn't drop.
You know, for me, I think this whole surprise release thing, just kind of dropping stuff out of nowhere, is starting to become the norm. I don't feel any type of way, man.
But for which artist though?
Only artist that can do it.
Only artists that can do it, exactly. Like you
Right.
said, you have to have a fan base to do that. Like, cause
We said this like years ago.
yeah, we said this. Yeah,
When Locks did, and it was like,
yeah.
like, what are you doing?
Like, you have to be kind of like popping, or maybe you were popping, like Frank Ocean being still young.
Yeah.
Everybody's anticipating, so you can just drop it because
been
people
sitting around
gonna
for like
eat it
2
up.
years for Frank
Exactly,
Ocean.
exactly. So when you're in that situation, you can do that. I don't know if I all the way agree with Ken if it was intentional or not. I don't know. But at the end of the day, the strategy, it works if you have a fan base.
Right.
And if you have been able to build up anticipation. Like a Jay Electronica, he can do that right now. Because everybody,
Seemed like he would do some shit like that.
of course he would. That is his style.
well.
He might, exactly.
Because anything else he says, no one's gonna believe him. Oh,
Exactly,
it's coming out in a week. Yeah, okay.
Exactly.
Whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Exactly.
Okay, dude.
This just shows the way that we consume media in the 20 teens. It just put it out there. It will be found, especially if you're that big. People gonna get it. People gonna get it. It's
What
gonna
do
get listened to.
you guys feel about people like demanding the music though? People have been literally like he owes me this album type thing. You know what I'm saying?
Shit, yeah, I'm gonna pay for it anyway.
Right.
So shut the fuck up.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, because I know people
Exactly.
have been talking about like the way, you know, consumers consume music. It's almost like it's owed type of
Sense
thing.
of entitlement.
Yeah, definite sense of
They do
of
shit with us.
entitlement.
That's definitely.
Y'all need to review. Why y'all haven't reviewed this? Like they do the same thing with us.
I mean, I just feel like, and I don't know, this was a point that I had seen on Twitter. Somebody was like, you know, you guys are demanding this album, this and that, but are y'all about to pay for it?
Exactly.
Because Channel Orange still hasn't hit platinum in 4 years.
Right.
Damn, for real?
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And the way they've been going about this album, you would think that shit about to go like 3 times platinum, like within a week.
You know what I'm saying? Like hyping it up
for
like he Adele, but he ain't about to make Adele sales. So.
I definitely think Frank Ocean is a great artist, but people really do act like he's the next coming of like fucking Prince or some shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, y'all need to chill out.
Yeah.
But I think with Channel Orange, he set expectations high. Like sometimes it's too quick to call something a classic or not, this, that, whatever. Sometimes it takes time.
Right.
And Frank
We
Ocean,
said that before.
exactly. I think Frank Ocean's in a prime position to either go either way.
Yeah.
Like 20 years from now, we could go back and be like, God damn, you remember that and this, that, and then he did this, that. Or we could be like, you know, he waited another 6 years after this one to drop something else. Then it wasn't that great. So he has a lot of different ways that he could go. But I think what makes it interesting is that he is young, that he is that different. And especially starting off with Odd Future.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? Like, this came from that camp? So I think all of those things is what makes him, you know, so everybody wants it. And then the fact that the last project was so great and the fact that he waited 4 years, I think it does build up that anticipation. But it comes down to the product. Is the album going to be that good?
Right.
Is the visuals and everything that he set out to do, is he gonna execute it well? If he does that, then he's back on that same path. If he doesn't, then that's a bump in the road.
I love Channel Orange. I think it's a great album. But I just haven't been caught up in this Frank Ocean wave. And I'm not like in a desire to run out and listen to Endless or even this Blonde album.
I was more interested when it was called Boys Don't Cry, just because I was curious as to see what angle he's going to take.
Yeah.
Right.
Because with the whole his sexuality thing, I thought it would have been quite interesting for a young black bisexual man to make an R&B album in 2016. What he talks about on this album, if he opens up more about that, or if he just talks about something completely different.
Yeah.
But I think with a title like Boys Don't Cry, I think it would be
Yeah.
pretty obvious where he would be going with that. So that's what made me interested. But now that it's just called Endless and Blonde, the fuck does that even mean?
I don't know what
Like,
the fuck that means.
not saying that that's going to have any impact on my enjoyment of the album.
Right.
I was just more interested before because I'm like, that would be kind of interesting because no one's done that.
You can tie that into a lot of things, especially everything that's happening now. You know, his
yeah.
sexuality,
Right.
like
State of
it
affairs with black people.
Exactly.
Title alone had you intrigued.
exactly.
Like, Boys Don't Cry.
So now that it's changed, it's kind of. But it still doesn't diminish his creativity and what he could do on it. It's just kind of have my expectations a little higher.
And I wonder
Right.
now what's behind the name change. You know, I'm kind of curious to that.
Yeah, from something as out there as Boys Don't Cry to like, oh, it's called Endless. Blonde. It's like,
So how does everybody, like, I guess, ultimately feel about the release strategy? Because that was the initial question, right?
I guess it's all right. I guess maybe it got to be for someone that I'm like a super fan of. I guess for him doing that, he can do it at an artist at his platform.
Do you feel like it's messy though?
It seemed a little messy, just off the fact that I know initially when I saw the name Endless, I was thinking just like Mike and all them said. I thought it was called Boys Don't Cry. So I'm like, okay, that's
Weird.
kind of off. Yeah, because like I said before, I think the title alone kind of intrigued me. Was like, okay, Boys Don't Cry. That better be an interesting, way to how he's gonna
Right.
put the album out. So
Spin it.
I didn't pay attention, to be honest. I just saw whatever was on Twitter. I thought it was supposed to release this past Friday. And then
was.
it came out. But you also it was supposed to be like
Oh,
a week
the
before.
Friday before, yeah.
Yeah, see, I thought it was this past
okay.
Friday.
No.
it was
and
still
then,
called Boys Don't Cry then.
yeah, when people were sending it to me, it was still called Boys
Yeah.
Don't Cry. So I was like, okay, cool. And I mean, I didn't really care that much. I like Frank Ocean. I'm not like some fucking super fan. If it was like The Weeknd or something, I might be like, okay, yeah, I need to fucking hear this shit now. But Frank Ocean, waiting 4 years after a great album, that's cool. But I wasn't backflipping and cartwheeling, waiting for this shit to come out. And people were fucking blowing up my Twitter anyway. Like every time I get on, there's like 12 people. Yo, man. And seriously, like, I promise you, Saturday morning, I don't know when this shit actually came out, but Saturday morning, I had people that were just like, so what do you think about that Frank Ocean album? Like, are you serious? I haven't even fucking, when did it come out? Shit, okay.
I think as a Frank Ocean fan, those that are out there, which there are plenty, You're probably happy you got 2 albums if they're 2 separate albums.
I ain't trying to hear 2 albums. Cut this shit out. People really need to cut this shit out. I'm tired of this.
What, doing the
2
most?
albums?
It's the most pretentious bullshit. Like double albums in 2016 I feel like are unfucking necessary. We don't need 39 fucking tracks of you. We just don't. How about you put all that you have into these fucking 14 tracks? Give me that, let it hit me, and then leave. Get out my house.
Well, he could have put all he had
out
into
your house.
the tracks that he has put out.
Then save
Because
the
it's
shit for
been-
album number 4.
Because it's been so long.
Or put out a mixtape, or put out an EP, like
Something.
yeah, you don't
This
double
at this
dip,
point,
yeah.
Like 6 months
unnecessary.
later.
Yeah.
Like 8
No,
months
the-
later.
Or put out outtakes. Be like, yo, this was some shit that we threw away, even though it wasn't.
Just
Just make motherfuckers think.
Market it.
Exactly. There you go. Exactly. Yep. That's smart.
Mike is 100% right. In 2016, with so much music that gets put out there, I don't need a double disc, bruh.
Right.
Give me a mixtape or an EP before or after the project
I
of the
think-
extras that you had.
That's different if you're somebody like The Game who's done that, right? Well, with Frank Ocean, who hasn't put out anything in 4 years.
What I'm saying, like, he took 4 years off. I think it's smarter because you know people are just salivating for your shit. It's smarter for you to show back up and just hit them with something quick and then go. Because if you hit them with something too much, they're not gonna care about waiting another 4 years for your album. Think about this: you're hungry as shit, right? And mom makes you some fried chicken, and she comes and she gives you. I know you do. And she comes, she gives you 1 wing. You're gonna tear that wing up, and then what? You're gonna want some more, right?
I'd be mad
You-
as hell she gave me one fucking
Exactly.
thing.
But no. You're gonna be mad because you want some more. And then what if she
I'd be
comes?
happy if she put 2 on my plate.
Okay, 2. So what if she gave you 15
After putting that one.
after you've been
That shit gonna
hungry
get bad.
for all day long? And she gives you 13 wings and says fill up. You gonna fill up and be like, damn, this shit was good, but I don't even really give a fuck about mom's wings no more.
You gonna
Yeah,
feel-
but-
You don't appreciate them anymore.
Shit,
Mike, you
you
gonna
think,
feel sick.
first of all,
Oh, you gonna feel sick. Exactly. You're gonna feel sick because you're over
2 wings, 2 pieces of chicken, they gonna feel a nigga like me.
That's exactly my point.
Yeah,
And the same thing with Frank Ocean,
But
like
you're
these
gonna want
bands-
some more. That you're gonna want some
Exactly.
more.
Right, they got those 2 albums with the I guess Frank Ocean and chicken. I guess.
Okay, let me
So they got
change
those 2
it.
pieces of chicken.
If you
They're
get those
happy
2
and they
pieces
want
of
more
chicken-
pieces of chicken because
Yeah,
the
but the
motherfucker's still
chicken's not
hungry.
mine
You
anymore.
can't give a black man a fried chicken reference.
Yes, you can. That's why I gave him a fried chicken reference. It makes him. I could have said watermelon, whatever.
Say Brussels sprouts.
If she gives you those 2 pieces of fried chicken, you
I'm
eat
gonna
those 2
want
pieces.
more.
Exactly. And for the rest of the day, what's on your mind? That fried chicken. But if she gives you 13 pieces of fried chicken, no, listen. If she gives you those 2 pieces of fried chicken, you eat those 2, you're still hungry and you want some more. So the rest of the day, you're thinking about fried chicken. She gives you 15 pieces of fried chicken, you eat all of that. After that, you on to something else. You're thinking about
Wait,
dessert.
so-
You think about that
so
Patti
each
LaBelle
piece of
pie.
Everything.
Exactly. You think about it.
Cheesecake at?
You and Frank Ocean just shows up after 4 years and gives you 12 solid tracks. You're gonna devour those tracks and you're gonna be wanting more. So for the next 3 or 4 years, you're gonna have Frank Ocean on the mind. But if Frank Ocean shows up and gives you fucking
39,
45 fucking songs,
Gave him 2 pieces of chicken.
no, in this case, he's giving you 2 cases of chicken. And he even gave you some frozen pieces for you to cook later. Nobody
The
needs all that
visual
chicken.
album, which is probably baked chicken, which is not.
I know,
really
who
as
wants
good.
baked chicken? It's not any sauce or nothing on it.
Right.
And then he gave him the fried shit.
Baked chicken is
Mine's the fried shit.
Yeah, blonde's the fried shit.
Right. Blonde is that extra battered spicy chicken.
So we're gonna close the show, actually. Thank you for your questions. Don't forget to send the rest of your questions to ask DEHH or to our email askdeadandhiphop.com. Until next time, I'll see you guys later. Bye.
I'm good.